So where is marketing and PR going? Crypto TikTok is booming and the new generations are harder to reach to. Does this work in detriment of crypto, or can it push projects who can adapt to this towards success?
Yeah, I think marketing has always been a relatively quickly evolving industry. Ever since the internet kind of started gaining adoption, any company that was, doing anything had to start learning about the internet, start figuring out what to do, whether you were the local pizza shop or, Facebook or Instagram or, now a crypto project. You have to kind of stay on where things are going and go where the attention is. So, I think a lot of people that benefit from marketing are the ones who have a good idea of their target audience and are placing themselves where that target audience is spending their time. For really any business, I think that what is happening on the internet right now is a great thing. I think if you learn how to leverage it, it's a great way to build your business and generate more attention, traffic, revenue. And if we're focusing in on crypto projects, going to places like TikTok and Twitter, and even Facebook and other platforms is a great way to get people in to your project. Kind of the key thing to do, I think, is look at what type of users you currently have, and kind of create a matrix of who those users are, what they care about, where they tend to spend their time and energy and focus and even money. If you know what they're buying, if you know what they're doing on a daily basis, then you'll have a much better idea of what to put in front of them. For us, we started spending a lot of time doing TikTok marketing, and talking to different influencers there, and then posting our own content. And one of the big things that I think I learned from doing the TikTok marketing is that there's a very specific type of audience that's spending a lot of time on Twitter. There's a very specific type of audience that's spending a lot of time on TikTok. And then there's certain qualities of those two audiences that's kind of overlapping when you look at like a typical Leo Finance user. So if you can kind of bridge together what those two target audiences love to see, what they're interested in seeing, and kind of use that as a lens into the type of content you should create, I think it can be a great thing. Everything is we're in probably the late stages in terms of the game of digitization of everything, right? So most things have now moved to completely being digital, and COVID definitely helped move all that along. So we're seeing a lot more people work from home, a lot more people doing things like Zoom. Like 3 years ago, would we have done a Zoom call like this and talk to each other and been able to share about our projects? So all of this stuff has kind of added up to be very beneficial for crypto, in my opinion. And another cool thing I saw was that Instagram just did a deep integration of NFTs, and a bunch of other mainstream companies are starting to integrate NFTs in a big way. And that is only going to continue, and that's only good for the industry, in my opinion. It's only going to bring more eyeballs, more attention to it. I was just talking to a friend yesterday, actually, about how 3 or 4 years ago, when I used to talk about Bitcoin and crypto, when people asked what I did, most people they'd never heard of Bitcoin. They literally had never heard of it. They didn't know what crypto was, didn't know what Bitcoin was. And now fast forward, and you could go ask a 79-year-old grandma if she knows what Bitcoin is, and 9 times out of 10 she's heard of it. And I would say 1 or 2 times out of 10 she actually owns some Bitcoin, which is just wild how fast the space has moved. So all of this stuff has really compiled itself to be extremely beneficial for crypto projects, as long as you learn how to stay in front of it and leverage it for your benefit.
Yeah, and especially now that so many people know about crypto, having a regionalized marketing strategy is great. But as Carl says, you have to know your audience and define what you want to achieve and who do you want your users to be. So Josh, Metaverse is a top 20 dApp in the whole game industry, and it's the 7th most used app in Wax. So what was your strategy, or what tips or advice can you share to the audience about growing so much without losing focus?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a fantastic question. We are always just looking to keep going, right? There are so many projects that are just projects, right? I mean, I almost don't like the word projects because it kind of has a negative connotation. You know, we're building a game. We're a game company. We're developers, and I suppose Castles is a project, but it's more than that. And I feel like that's something that you know, the audiences and players need to look at things with a critical eye. You know, how active are the developers in the chat? I think it was Ian earlier who talked about growing their community organically. I agree with that. That's fantastic. You know, I have seen the same things that you guys mentioned before about I've seen Discords with 50,000 or maybe even 100,000 users, and then you go to their chat channel that's labeled something along the lines of general chat, you know, and it's dead. There's nobody in there, or conversations are run by bots, and you can tell they have nothing to do with anything. And you know, there are bot chat services in Discord and things like that. It's ridiculous. And these things are rampant in the community, and it's a big problem. You know, we stay focused by staying engaged with our community. And one of the reasons why we've grown so much is we spend a ton of time in front of the camera, talking to our users, letting them ask whatever the heck question they want. We chat a ton in our Discord, just all the time. We pop in, we answer questions, we ask questions, we collect feedback, all sorts of things. We stay engaged by keeping our community engaged. We stay focused by working together organically. We've got one of the best Discords, I feel, in crypto, and we've got, I think, something along the lines of 8, maybe 9,000 users in our Discord. It's not massive, it's not small. It's a pretty strong number, but the thing that we have that I find superior to almost any other crypto Discord that I go in is at any given time, there's probably 5 to 10, if not 20 plus of our players who are really in our Discord, actually talking about the game, asking advice about, you know, oh, I'm going to change my strategy. I'm going to collect more of these NFTs. I'm going to sell these. I'm going to go this route. You know, we have channels for players to arrange trading. We've got sales listing feeds so that people can watch, you know, collect data if they want to, all sorts of things like that. And we have a fantastic community for it. We just have a ton of engagement, and we don't have to, it's been so nice because we don't really have to worry about being online all the time because our community is so good. If a brand new player comes in and says, hey, tell me about this game, I just found it on DApp Radar and I'm curious about it. You know, obviously, if we're around, we love answering questions and engaging with new users, but our community is so great that they always are there and they'll always answer questions. And we've got just about the friendliest community ever. In fact, I just had somebody, I think it was earlier, I think it was yesterday, actually. We had a new user come in and be like, oh, I've been watching you guys on DApp Radar for a while. I don't have any assets yet, but I'm going to get some. And they said, the reason I'm going to get some is, you know, the markets are red, everything's bad, everything's difficult. And I jumped into your Discord and not a single person is even talking about that. No one's talking about that, you know, fear, uncertainty, doubt. Nobody's talking about the markets. All that anybody's talking about is, you know, oh, I'm building this. I'm building up my empire. I just got my 4th castle. Isn't that awesome? And everybody's happy. And, you know, that's what we've got to do as projects and companies, is we've got to not be focused on the negatives, but stay focused on just having a good time, enjoying what you've got, building what you're building, and you know, stay active. You know, we've got a big release that's dropping today. It's a week behind schedule, you know, but our community is not upset about it. They know that if the product is not polished as to our standards, then we're not going to release a buggy product. And, you know, we're transparent about it. We pop in there and we're like, hey, we're doing good today. We're testing this, but this part's broken, so it probably won't be today. And, you know, and as long as we stay transparent and engaged with everybody, we found that that policy has always been good. But of course, there's always going to be some negative people that come in out of nowhere. So I'm not saying that there's never any trouble, but you know, you just gotta move past it.